Hi everyone, Armoured Pants here, and I have another review for you in the British line. Following on from the Crusader, we have the Tier 6 Cromwell medium tank. This is a medium tank, so we're moving on from the light tank that we had with the Crusader, so slightly different characteristics, and we'll look at all of those as we review the tech spec, and we will use blitzhanger.com as always for that. There is a slight paradox in moving on from the Crusader to the Cromwell, which is light to a medium, in that the Cromwell has actually more handling characteristics of a light tank than the Crusader, but we'll look at those in due course. Now, this is a good medium tank. It's a very solid performer. It's a very good tech line tank. In terms of provisions, I would run black tea. Max out the view range is 290.4 meters with that, and it also helps with the reload. Always important for a medium tank to have its view range maxed out, because one of your jobs is of course spotting. There are three gun types: two 6-pounders, which in real speak is 57mm, and a 75mm, and you're going to need that top gun. Why? Well, because you're going to be up tiered, you're going to be up against an IS-7, something like that. Trying to pen an IS-7 with 57mm is not fun. With the 75mm gun, you get 145mm of pen with AP rounds, 202mm with APCR, and 38 with HE. Now, the pen is quite good in this tank, therefore I would use gun rammer to get the reload to 4.8 seconds. Now, with APCR, you get less damage, obviously per shell. You get 135 to 165 damage points. With HE, you're getting 200 to 250, which is pretty good. Muzzle velocity is low. It's only 785 meters per second, but use supercharge, you'll get it up to 1021 meters per second. And note that APCR has a faster muzzle velocity, 20% higher at 1275 meters per second. So watch that with shell management. Gun depression is good, 8 degrees. Elevation 15 degrees, so therefore it has decent gun alignment. Gun alignment is of course the ease with which you can align your gun with the enemy target. Now, here's the kicker: it does 64 kilometers per hour, 20 in reverse, so it is a flying machine. More importantly, it has an excellent and amazing power to weight ratio. This thing can shift, and as we've discussed before on channel, the top speed of the tank is pretty much irrelevant. It's the power to weight ratio that makes it agile or not. And we've seen a lot of tanks like the Khmer that have a fast top speed, but their power to weight ratio is so bad that actually it takes so long to get there, they're not actually maneuverable at all, or not as maneuverable as the top speed would suggest. That's not the case with this tank. This tank moves. Now, you've noticed it has spaced armor on the side, which is great for stopping heat and HE shells. Particularly important if you're up tiered as an SU-152, we won't be able to HE you on the side. Concealment is also very good at 281 view range, which is what most medium tanks have in tier 6. You get 250 millimeters of cover. That means he has to get in within 250 meters of you to see you, which is really good. So this thing has good camo numbers. Now, because it's a medium, not a light tank, you don't have those active camo numbers when you're moving. But this tank moves so quickly that that is not such an issue. It's very hard to hit this tank when it's moving at top speed. And as we discussed, it gets to that top speed really quickly. So it's significantly different to the Crusader before it, which is quite a slow, cumbersome light tank. It doesn't have good power to weight ratio. This tank does, and we're going to see that when we look at the gameplay here, which is Rockfield. Now, the tactics of this tank, how you should play it. Your advantages are your speed. You have some good turret armor. You have that spaced armor on the side. So get out, get in front of the gameplay, use your speed. You're normally one of the fastest, if not the fastest tank on the map. Do exactly what I'm doing here. Burst out to a place where you can spot up the enemy. Use your good concealment numbers, use your speed, and then use that bit of armor that you have on the sides and on the turret to get some bounces to protect yourself. Use that 8 degrees of muzzle velocity as 8 degrees of gun depression as I'm doing here. And also, and this is the thing about when you're scouting and spotting, you need to be a bit patient as well, right? There's always a temptation to drive out into the middle there when you don't see anybody. But as you'll see in this game, that would be a very bad idea, because they are coming, albeit somewhat slowly. Now, again, you see, this is the point of the patience here, right? Now, I'm not penning him, so I switch up to APC, or that is a tier higher, that tank. No harm in using a PCR, that's what it is there for. And you see there, look at that turret armor, get that massive bounce off this guy and then put one into him. And that is the strength of this tank, right? It can rock back and forwards so quickly. Its peek and boom capabilities are just awesome. And as we said, stopping is dropping, moving is grooving. Just slowed it down here so you can see what I'm doing here. I track him, put one through the drive wheel, and the front, the drive wheel on Russian tanks is extremely vulnerable, both on the medium tanks but also on heavies, even all the way up to IS-4s and IS-7s. The drive wheel is a vulnerable target on a Russian tank, so smash him again to the drive wheel. You nearly always pen, and most of the time you'll track them as well. And there we go, clear him off. And you saw there's consistency in your gameplay as well, hitting him in the same spot all the time. This also has an advantage in that if you're blowing modules, killing crew members, it doesn't give them a chance if you keep hitting them in the same spot to recover, to move. And you saw there, we more or less had that guy speared to the spot. He just could not move, and he was just getting pummeled. Cleared him off, and we've captured C. Now, that sequence of play you witnessed there is exactly what you should be doing in medium and light tanks. And Cromwell as a great medium tank is a perfect example of that, and we show there very, very good execution. So we have, by the way, there's a slowness down here. There's going to be a massive bounce coming off this turret coming up. I'm going to slow it right down so you can see the shell trajectory as it hits the turret of the Cromwell. There you go. Bam! Right off the side and whizzes off then to the my right, the left hand side at the back of the tank. It just shows this tank, its turret armor is good. That's the second big bounce that this tank has gotten for me during the course of the game. So just the execution of the play there is important. That's exactly what you should be doing in a light or medium tank. Go, spot, clear the flank if you can, and capture a base if you're playing supremacy. So that start of the game was perfectly executed. I didn't take any hits, and I was able to keep my hit points. And as you saw, they came in valuable there because unfortunately I was stuck in this little rock alley, this little canyon, not much space to maneuver, so I had to slug it out with the IS. But my rate of fire and the fact that I conserved my hit points allowed me to do that. Now, I have a bit of maneuverability in play here, so what I decided to do is not go face onto that IS. That is never a good idea when you're in a light or a medium tank. So now a bit of thinking comes into it, right? Try to tone down the adrenaline a bit, not push on to the big gun that's in front of me. Capture a base, make sure that I'm putting my team ahead on points. Because I'm a one shot for the KV-1S, if I go up in front of him, then I'm going to get, and he's lucky enough to smash me, then it's game over, which we don't want. Instead, a more prudent end to the game allows me to survive, allows my team to clear him off, another base captured, more XP for me, more points for my team, and that delivers a nice mastery badge in the Cromwell. And almost 2.5k of damage, which for tier 6 is not bad at all. 3 kills, and you can see there the XP is over 1.2k, and that's what delivers the mastery badge. So again, a good example of how to play this tank, not just this tank but any medium tank, but this is a particularly good medium tank. Get out, use the speed, use your camo numbers and your concealment numbers, get out, spot the enemy, use your maneuverability, your agility to peek-a-boom, clear off the enemy. I took no damage there. I used my gun depression and used the turret armor to get a big bounce off the ISU, and we see there mastery badge delivered, and you know, really good start to that game, exactly how you should be playing this tank, and indeed any medium or light tank, doing a job for your team. Now let's have a recap. This is a very good medium tank. It plays more like a light because of its mobility, but of course it doesn't have those light camo numbers. But in terms of its mobility, it's definitely up there with the best of the light tanks. Get the top gun as quickly as quickly as important. 75mm is important, when particularly if you're up tiered. This tank is super fast. It's beautifully agile, as you saw. It's perfect for spotting. Scouting badges will come, patrol duty badges will come in this tank if you play to its strengths. 4.8 second reload is good. If you, I would use gun rammer to get it down to that, because the pen is pretty decent anyway. Amazing power to weight ratio, really amazing. So this tank is really good to handle, accelerates really well, gets around the map. If you're lucky enough to come into a circle of death situation, this tank is a master. Fast reload, maneuverability, power to weight ratio, delivers every time. I would use supercharge and vertical stabilizer. Supercharge to maximize your muzzle velocity, and vertical stabilizer because you're going to fire a lot when you are moving. View range, concealment numbers, mobility. This is a great toolbox. Dip into it and use it, and you will get troll bounces on this tank with that spaced armor on the side. A lot of people don't know about it, and with that turret armor. So cheers much, thanks for watching. And by the way, there is a premium version of this called the Cromwell B, Crommy B. If it's in the shops, get it because it's even better. And there's a full review of that on channel, and the link is in the description. Take care, guys. I guess all remains for me to say is pants off.